those questions that we asked when we introduced the webinar to you. The first one was, what are the tools and the templates that you could use as a coordinator in your Horizon 2020 project? Well, probably in everyone's mind, there are these project management platforms that you could use, right? There are a few things. Well, I will not repeat those because these are not all platforms. So you could check out basically on Google, which are those management platforms that you could use for the purposes of managing these Horizon 2020 projects. There may be even a list of these on our website. I'm not 100% sure about that, but maybe. If not, then just ask me. I will send a few links to you. The benefit of using these management platforms is that the coordinator doesn't have to basically set up their own tools and templates for each and every project that they are coordinating, but basically there's a copy-paste kind of exercise of the information that relates to the project to the specific platform, and then it automatically gives you relevant project management related information and warnings and so on. It will create the graphs for you and all of these kind of things, which is really beneficial, but then everyone else has to use that within the project. So it's not just that the coordinator is keen on using these management platforms, but each and every partner has to contribute it regularly. So that has to be kind of a common decision that you start using these management platforms, especially if we talk about a really expensive platform. Also, the Commission is not really keen on using all of these platforms because they feel that their management platform basically that you use, well, now on the funding and tenders portal and not the participant portal. So the system behind for managing the project is enough for each and every coordinator to manage the projects properly. Of course, that's not fully true because you have to use a lot of templates in order to manage the project properly and then to have all of the information that you need to share with the European Commission afterwards. You need to collect those from the partners. But still, the Commission may decide that the expensive platforms that you may want to use in the project will become non-eligible cost because that's your own investment basically to use these. It's not true in each and every case, but some of the officers do not prefer the projects using these platforms. The disadvantage, of course, is there is the cost, and the disadvantage is there are many different versions available on the market, and maybe the partners do not want to use a new platform because they got used to another one in the previous projects and so on. They may feel that this platform is an extra administrative burden that the coordinator is trying to force on them, which might create a negative perception. And of course, there has to be a regular use of that from the work package leaders, from the coordinators, and of all of the partners, which they might not do so regularly as the platform would require it. So it's your decision as a project, basically a common decision if you want to use any of these platforms. For those who are inexperienced in managing these research and innovation projects, it may be useful. For those who are more experienced, I would rather refer to all of those Excel sheets and Word templates that you could use for managing the projects mostly. So I would rather turn to these actually, because there are a few that we have developed ourselves, and these are quite useful. You see the link, so you can download all of these templates that I'm showing you. And I'm not showing you actually all of those, but these are the few that I feel are kind of the most important ones. So as a coordinator, obviously you have to be prepared for monitoring the performance of all of the partners. So what we are definitely recommending is an internal reporting tool on a 6 monthly or 9 monthly basis, depending on the duration of the project, that will help you to collect all of the information more regularly before the periodic report happens. Because if all of the information comes to the coordinator at the time of the periodic reporting in month 12 or month 18, depending how long your period is, then of course there's too much information. It can be quite complex to put it together, and you may avoid a lot of mistakes that the partners may make if you do force them to do internal reporting. It's a benefit for them so that the coordinator can check their finances, and also they can check the activity reports and then make sure that when the time comes that you have to report to the European Commission, everything will be fine. That's our experience from the past decade, basically, that this has to be implemented each and every time. You can do ad hoc task monitoring, of course. That is kind of a tool that a coordinator could use to see if things have been achieved within the project. It basically shows the timeline of the project on one sheet, and then on the second sheet, you basically fill in for yourself where you are at month 3, for example, then month 6, then month 9, and then you can basically note for yourself that, okay, we are in the right track, we have completed the 50% of the tasks, it should be okay to meet the final deadline for the European Commission. It is again a tool that could be useful in a complex project where you have so many things that you have to monitor, and then you want to be sure that there is no risk occurring in terms of delays, for example, or something else, or it may be also useful for inexperienced coordinators who are doing this the first time. And then it may help them to follow up the most important tasks in the project. You know, if you are fulfilling all of those that has to be fulfilled, these are kind of internal deadlines for yourself, but exactly you have to achieve in 3, 6, 9 months and so on. And then you may continue that, of course, for the full implementation of the project. Okay, yeah, I mean, you can include the questions right now. I'm trying to go through all of those questions, so feel fine, of course, yeah. And then my colleagues will remind me if I missed something, but I will go back in the chat history and see if there are any questions specifically asked from you. Okay, so the task monitoring template and internal reporting template would be really useful for performance monitoring. Then what we always recommending as well is a quality assurance tool. You could include that as a specific deliverable in the project as well, or you could do, for example, just an integration into the consortium agreement where you describe the whole process. This tool that you see now is a specific deliverable that you could use, and then it describes the main structure, like what exactly is the information that you normally include into a quality assurance plan. The quality assurance plan kind of ensures from one side that the project is well managed, so kind of checking points for the coordinator, how the project has to be managed, but also it's about the quality of the work that the other partners are delivering. For example, a procedure, how a deliverable has to be reviewed by specific external experts or maybe internal experts, the work package leader or anyone else. And then who's making then the final decision on approving the deliverable internally within the consortium and then submitting it to the European Commission. You can set certain criteria, certain procedures, internal deadlines for submission of these deliverables, and so on. This is again specifically useful as you know the European Commission is moving towards the outcome-based assessment, so the quality of these deliverables will be more and more important. Okay, so some kind of a checking procedure, review procedure is really important to be integrated. You can include it in the consortium agreement, but then you can have such a template, something similar like this one. Okay, then these are the tools that I'm listing now. These are also available on the website. If you go to the training site on the knowledge base and templates, then these are all downloadable. And then it could give you specific information. If you want to start from the very beginning, then you should download the coordinator's guide. Basically, this is a short document describing all of the tasks of the coordinator. And then under each of these main tasks, there is a link to these templates and tools that you could use for all of those tasks that the coordinator has to complete. Okay, so this is like a package of specific tools and templates that you could use. All of them are downloadable separately, but also through the coordinator's guide, you could also access all of those within one document. All right, the second question that we asked that would be most important for the coordinator is how to put together a sound budget, because